Hey guys, it's Jen. This is another episode of Reframing Me. We kind of have started a tradition on the show of reflecting on the change of seasons. I mean, it only makes sense that we should use the turning points of nature as an opportunity to really look at how it impacts us. We are all a part of nature. We are all connected to this earth and to the universe. And like all other living, growing things on earth, we can't pretend that we aren't also affected by the energy forces and the pivotal moments in nature. Animals shed their coats, or they store fat, or they gather food, or they sleep more, or whatever other changes that they organically make based on the season. Plants and flowers and trees, they all run through cycles based on the season. We don't expect plants or other animals to live or look or behave or probably even feel the same at all points of the year. It's really kind of ridiculous that when we look at humans, we think differently. Of course, we're also going to live or look or behave or feel differently when the seasons change. The temperature changes, the sunlight changes, energy forces change. Yes, I know I am woo-woo Jen, but even the scholar, the social scientist in me, cannot understand why anyone would be able to deny that as a part of nature and the earth and the universe, of course, we are going to be impacted by these pivotal points in nature too. The earth's energy changes and so does ours. So let's embrace those changes rather than fight them. This upcoming weekend is the Autumnal Equinox. So I thought we could do a special little series here in honor of this change. It really is the perfect time for us to take a beat and look inward to see where we are or who we are, appreciate where or who we have been, and set goals for where we are going and who we are becoming. Now, initially, I thought this was a Jenna Zen episode, and it kind of is, but it's so much more than that, right? Let's take a step backwards here to the root of everything that we do here, everything we talk about, everything we study. I know that's a big statement, right? But one of the earliest family communication concepts that we ever talked about here was systems theory and our family as a social system. You may remember that system theory provides a framework for us to understand the complex dynamics that happen within a family unit. By viewing families as systems, we can look at all of the interconnectedness of the family members and the influence of their communication on the relationships. So today, as we approach this autumnal equinox, we're going to start this 3-part conversation / reflection with our family as a system and why that would even be relevant here. Well, systems theory says that each family member is interdependent and functions as a part of the larger whole family system. But each family member is also interconnected and interdependent, which means that any change in one person can impact the entire family unit. You may also remember that in another earlier episode, we talked about ecosystems because systems theory also recognizes that families exist within larger sociocultural contexts, whether it's your extended family, friends, neighborhood, region, religion, school, work, sports teams, like literally any larger system that your family belongs to can influence the dynamics and the interactions of the family itself. So, why is this even relevant here? Well, as the season changes, each of us changes. Each of our energy is impacted. So, we may feel, behave, and communicate differently. And just like each plant out there is impacted slightly differently during the change, I mean, when you look outside, the leaves on the same tree, they can each turn different colors at different times, right? Different flowers bloom longer than others. Now, I have not done any research on this, but I am going to guess that some squirrels, they gather their acorns early. They're extra prepared. And some are probably procrastinator squirrels. Maybe they're just not willing to let go of summer just yet. And there'll be acorns left, right? And I don't think that every bear gains the same quantity of fat prior to hibernation, right? Again, literally zero research to back either of those statements up, but I think they're pretty logical, don't you? So, this change of season, this change in nature, this change in energy forces, it's going to impact us each in our own way. So, as we interact within our family system and as we communicate with our interconnected people, we need to keep in mind that we're all in this point of transition. And this transitional time is the best time for us to each take a look inside. And you can certainly do this on your own if you prefer. Use it to journal about or meditate on. But I know that I'm personally going to make my family do it too, because I really think that we all get so caught up in life that we never really stop to reflect. And I am obviously a huge believer in getting us all to cultivate gratitude and recognize all of the things that we have to be grateful for. Historically, the autumn equinox is the time of the final harvest. Back when families were much more connected to the earth and to nature than we are now, like growing their own food and stuff. This was the time of year that they would be grateful and celebrate the summer's abundance. So today, I'd love you to take a few minutes to reflect on your own summer abundance. What quote unquote harvests did you receive this past season? No, we may not tend to crops anymore. But I know that there are things in your life and in your relationships and in yourself that you have been tending to and nurturing over the past several months. Can you have gratitude for all of that growth? Remember, we are only one part of our family system. And to best understand our family as a whole, we need to look at the sum of all of the different parts. How have you each grown and changed over the last season? Has any of this change impacted your interconnectedness or your communication? Chances are it has. The only constant is change, right? So now is a good time, not only a good time to be grateful for all the abundance we've seen, but it's also a good time to see how we need to adapt. Time to see who each of us are and how this family system needs to adapt, how we need to do this as we enter this new season. We'll continue with this autumnal equinox conversation in our next episode. Until then, thank you for listening. Please remember to follow this show and share it with your friends. Reach out to me on socials at Reframing Me. Be well, communicate, and enjoy these last few days of summer.